Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
Everyone's a suspect. All.
How'd you pay the high price for that mod? Did you even want it?
My community was depending on me.
Hardly the words of someone with much say in the matter.
I wish it was that simple. Hello. Hola. Alinyachu.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Hello. Time to hand out some justice.
Joking to fight. Bring it on.
I need some help. Enemy over here.
Hostile spot. Girls are powered and ready to fire.
Over there.
Maximum firepower. Good effect. Tango inside. That feels much better.
I'm taking your step.
Watch here.
little late to the party here, but it seems like we are going to be live. A little bit of varsity Overwatch, UNH versus Anna Marie here.
5, 4, 3,
First map going to be absolutely forgetting what it's called off the top of my head. But UNH with the quick MTP there, Monclover on the Kiriko going forward. Big Warrior going to be on that Hazard starting off right away. Looks like they want to go for a heavier dive comp here early. You do see the Alari getting those turrets set up for the free heals. Some big damage there on the left side. Good healing from that Alari to keep everybody popped up and alive.
That's what I like to see.
Already getting those perks set out. Monclover with some really good healing here. UNH did manage to take that first round according to the scorecard here. As I mentioned again, a little late to the party. That's on me. A little bit of back and forth here. No side claiming point just yet. Just Big Warrior up in the grill of the enemy team.
Enemy spotted.
UNH goes for the cap there, but Anna Marie comes diving in to prevent it. But UNH does get the cap as Knight goes down. Blackout picks up one with the Sojourner. Torbjorn trying to scare Monclover off the point, but able to stay alive, keeping everybody topped up. Big damage on him on Clover. You hear the Lucio trying to bounce around, maybe trying to look for the kill with Suzu to keep Blackout in the fight. J-Rainer on the Vendetta nearly finds Lucio. UNH just gonna back out here, not losing anybody. Not gonna let point flip just yet. Doing some good delay here to get up to about 26% before Anna Marie can finally take control back to point. J-Rainer gets caught behind enemy lines there. He'll go down to 1. Knight does pick up 1 in return, though. The support's favor turning in the support's going in the favor of UNH. Big Warrior finds 1. Give Blackout another as a Kitsune rush comes out from Monclover. Big ultimate there, allowing UNH to flip the point back. Now they're going to get up to 30%, keeping Anna Marie under that 20% threshold. J-Rainer going to get aggressive with Big Warrior there, going up to that first choke point to try to lock out Anna Marie from getting to the point here. A lot of ults on the board for UNH. Blackout with this overclock ready to go. There goes the Juno ult for Anna Marie. The Hazard ult from Big Warrior helps secure 1. There's 1 for Knight with his ultimate as well. See him flying around there trying to get some of that damage in. Big Warrior finds another. Give J-Rainer 1 of his own. UNH able to cleanly take that team fight. Able to preserve Blackout's ultimate as well. That's a big part of the offense that could be used to repel this upcoming attack. UNH getting up to 70% here. That tank for Anna Marie staying on the Ramatra. Blackout gets the overcharge, takes a bit of damage, but gets healed right through it. Starts to melt down this Ramatra, but he pops that Nemesis form. Finds 1 as Big Warrior picks up a kill on the Lucio. Knight finds Torbjorn. Big Warrior does finally fall as J-Rainer wins the Vendetta 1v1 now. The numbers in the favor of UNH. The Moira trying to escape here. J-Rainer forces out the blink. 14 HP. Gets the TP. Suzu from Monclover to stay alive. They're just going to back away from the point for now. They do get it to 99%. Going to force out the overtime. Big Warrior gets on the point to delay there just a little bit longer, but he will go down to the Lucio. UNH is going to back up and group together here. Anna Marie starts to get working on their side. Now getting up to 30%, a long way to go for them if they want to come back into this. UNH just has to pretty much win one more team fight, and that's something they could definitely do with J-Rainer's ultimate here. That Vendetta ult could be a big part of this upcoming team fight. Anna Marie definitely going to have at least that Torbjorn ultimate online. I didn't hear him throwing out the welcoming mat. Could potentially have Lucio beat as well. You see some big damage onto the Alari there. Big Warrior taking a lot of damage. The Vendetta flies in with ult. Goes down to Blackout. J-Rainer with ult just slams it down onto the Ramatra, securing the kill on the tank. The Moira with ultimate unable to save him. There goes the Lucio beat as it'll be a 5v3 for the point here. Blackout goes down. Kitsune Rush comes out. Jay goes diving in on the Lucio. That kill gets secured by Big Warrior. The Vendetta tries to return to the fight. Goes down to the power of the sun. The Torbjorn last alive, it looks like. But the Ramatra's able to come diving back in. Knight did end up going down there. Monclover, the only support left standing. A good Suzu to keep Jay in the fight as well. UNH keeps on 99%, but Anna Maria is slowly creeping up to her lead there. Lucio very low in that back line. Clover looking for the pick there as Anna Marie starts to look, they're going to tie it up at 99-99 here. It'll be one big team fight here to decide the winner. The first pick going to Blackout takes out the Vendetta. That's a big part of the dive gone from Anna Marie. 5v4 in the favor of UNH. Knight getting set up with the turret. Some big damage on that Ramatra. He'll go down to Knight. Jay picks up on the Moira. And UNH will be able to cap the point with little contest. A good quick pick from Knight on the Torb. And that will secure the first game. Going to go in the favor of UNH. And they will take a quick 1-0 lead. We will see after a brief intermission what they have in store for us for round 2. We're going to be back for game 2 of the varsity Overwatch match. UNH should walk away with the first round win. Bans on the board going to be UNH taking out Torbjorn with Anna Marie, not wanting to deal with the Kiriko. Monclova going to be looking towards the Wu Yang here potentially. Maybe some Ana Knight. Looks like Blackout wants to go the Emre here. J Rainer potentially going to be on the Tracer with Big Warrior on the Diva. Some real heavy dive. A little bit of poke with the Emre. But that Diva Tracer combo could definitely be lethal, especially with the long range heals coming from the Ana, as well as the poke damage from the Wu Yang. A lot of potential synergy in this lineup. We'll see what UNH has in store. Payload going to be unlocked in 20 seconds. UNH starting on defense, obviously. Going to see Knight getting an advantageous position here. Plenty of height angles to play with here, especially with Ana, the biotic sniper rifle. As well as the grenade. There's a potentially wasted sleep. Gonna be on cooldown, unfortunately, as we get underway here. Big Warrior playing tight around the corner here, being kind of a nuisance. This Knight just pretty much starts to farm out his ultimate. Anna Marie does bring along a Winston, Genji. Did see a Wu Yang, Emre going to be their last DPS. And I believe they have an Ana to round out the DPS. That'll be confirmed by Blackout finding the first pick. It looks like Big Warrior in the DMech form doesn't going down. Diva maybe not the perfect choice to go against a Winston, but definitely not something that Big Warrior should be too concerned about. We know even in not unfair, but the unadvantageous matchups, I'm still putting my money on the Big Warriors. He comes flying back towards the payload here. Anna Marie does manage to push it halfway, or maybe 3/4 to the first checkpoint with minimal resistance. That Winston trying to get active on Knight, but he catches a sleep dart to the face, followed up by a grenade. He's just going to get swarmed by the Tracer Diva. That Genji, the next target, he looks like he will be going down. Big Warrior finds that kill. Wu Yang coming through to keep Knight topped up. Big Warrior does soak up a lot of this damage, taking a lot of attention, forcing the Ana off the high ground, forces out the bubble from Winston. Blackout did take a little bit of damage there, but he's able to get back into the fight, starts trying to get that Emre diff going. Looking towards the Winston as well, and forced off the height. Not completely here, but they can't get to that rooftop to the top right there. Blackout maybe looking to help out on that second floor there. Looks like he can go for a grenade boost. The Winston comes through with the Genji to take down Knight. They will lose the Ana, but it looks like the Wu Yangs will trade. Unless Emre and Wu Yang. Oh, nope, that's Emre. Where I cannot tell Overwatch characters based off chins, and that just confirmed it. Genji gonna go down as well. There goes a Diva bomb from Big Warrior. The Pulse bomb gonna fly out as well. Neither do find any kills, but it's a good chance for both to reset. The Winston goes in that Primal Rage, but he just starts to get melted. Does find a kill on the Wu Yang, but J Rainer is hunting him down. The Ana trying to keep him alive. One more kill falls, and it looks like the Winston is able to escape. Genji flies up to try to help out. UNH able to delay down to 1:30 before that first checkpoint does ultimately get captured. 4 minutes back on the board for Anna Marie, but UNH is definitely in a good position here. This second point a lot harder to cap as the attackers here. A lot of angles, off angle, or a lot of height angles, off angles. Definitely places for Jay to just start zipping around. It does take some damage from that Ana. Biotic grenade finds him on the recall. Genji did try to come in to confirm the kill, but he'll be unsuccessful as Big Warrior continues to just soak up damage. He's a bit more in the backline here. Looks to the Genji, secures that kill. But an Emre ult from Anna Marie will get the kill onto Blackout. Big Warrior gets away from the Winston to avoid taking too much damage. Does catch the Nano from, the Nano Wu Yang combo, or just the Wu Yang ult? I'm not too sure there. As Monclova takes down the Emre there with the help of Jay. The Nano comes out for the Winston. Big Warrior goes down to Winston. Monclova falls as well to the Ana. Jay comes back on the site, looking towards that Life Weaver. Getting some good damage in there and avoiding a lot of damage as well. He gets that Pulse Bomb back online as Knight goes down. Blackout finds one onto the Winston. UNH can use this take advantage they found themselves in to push back to the payload to delay a bit longer. 2.5 minutes on the board. AM was able to push up about 3/4. The pulse bomb was looking for the life weaver. The sleep comes in. The pulse bomb misses, but Jay's able to blink straight out of there. The recall coming in clutch. Big Warrior happily sitting on that payload as a life weaver ult comes out. Now the nano, I believe, is making an appearance as Big Warrior just shreds him down, but the Genji blade finds 2. Winston finds 1 of his own. The sleep hits Big Warrior in the chin. And it looks like they just try to ignore Big Warrior to get on the payload, but he's going to come flying in to try to do that, try to delay. Pulse, the Diva Bomb flies through, manages to get back in the mech before the Winston can burst him down. Able to do so much delay here with Big Warrior. Jay does go down, but the Winston falls next. Genji going to fall as well. Tracer Jay finds 1. UNH able to stabilize before they lose that second checkpoint, and now they're going to reduce Anna Marie's time down to 1:15. See Blackout there on those long distance angles, trying to get some good burst damage with that burst rifle. The grenade and pistol making an appearance as kills start to hit the board. Von Clover and Knight both go down. That's both supports. Primal Rage comes out from the Winston. That'll help take out Blackout. Jay's still alive. Tries to stick to the point to delay just as long as possible. Anna Marie's down to 45 seconds here. There's the recall from Jay Rayner. Blinks around a few more times, just delaying, just waste time here. He manages to get back on the point for just another second. Gets the reset. And time will come back to 2 minutes on the clock for Anna Marie. Genji finds 1. UNH's just going to take the reset there. Everybody going to die off just to get back towards the respawn. But it looks like Anna Marie's trying to push their advantage, trying to force UNH back into their spawn. But it looks like they're starting to have everybody come back online now. Some good damage from Knight. Now UNH able to restabilize. The ult from the Emre will come out, but Big Warrior just dives straight towards them, soaks up a lot of that damage. A good Wu Yang ultimate will knock a few down as Jay starts to get active, force out the Life Weaver ult. Big Warrior jumps in the fray, trying to help take them down. Jay will secure the kill. The Diva Bomb finds 1 as Monclover goes down. Looks like Blackout went down there as well. Knight not able to secure the kill on the Winston, but does some big damage to the Ana on the height there. Jay takes a whole host of damage as Big Warrior catches the nano. He's gonna get active with that Winston, starts shredding him down, forces the Life Weaver to pull him away. The Genji nearly taking down Jay, but he escapes as Ana did fall to Big Warrior during that entire exchange. Time gets down to under a minute here as Anna Marie's halfway towards the final checkpoint. Big Warrior playing up on this height, ready to just go diving in at a moment's notice. Blackout holding on to that ult. Definitely want to see UNH stretch this out into just one final team fight instead of allowing Anna Marie the chance to delay and force it into 2. Goes for the grenade boost up with the ult and just starts to get active. That Life Weaver low. He goes down to a shot as Monclover goes down to Winston. Blackout with 2. Big Warrior picks up 1 in that entire exchange. Gives him a double kill as well. Last remaining member for Anna Marie going to be that Genji, and Big Warrior is going to go hunting. Find that kill with the support of Knight, and with 5 seconds left to go, Anna Marie does come diving out of spawn to try to delay. They bring out the Lucio, they bring out the Emre, sorry, but unable to get back to the point as Blackout takes down the Jetpack Cat, and UNH stops Anna Marie from capping all 3 points, giving them the obvious target for the win here. See if UNH wants to pack this up quick with a quick 2. No, it's a best of 5, isn't it? Is it? I'm so out of whack from spring break. But UNH will get their chance on attack. Looks like they're going to run pretty much the same lineup here. Big Warrior, the Diva, Blackout, the Emre, Jay on the Tracer, Monclover with the Wu Yang, and Knight maybe swapping it up off the Ana, perhaps. or perhaps not. So looks like they want to go for that early sim TP. It's pretty much staple part of the UNH attack. I always like to get that early movement in, getting the hopefully grabbing an advantage with the early game.
What rank are you? Top 1,000?
W, it is a best of 5. W production teams, as always.
I'll ask Taehyun if he has time.
Wow, my mic picked that up. But the attack will be underway for UNH here. Gonna go for a bit of a sneaky TP there. Try to get the off angle. Jay gonna make the swap back to Tracer, of course, as the Sombra makes an appearance for Anna Marie. Bring out the Winston as well. He makes a reappearance. The Lifeweaver. It looks like Emre as well. Going to be the rounding DPS for Anna Marie as UNH tries to get this payload pushed past the first little choke point here. Knight going band for band against the enemy Ana as Blackout wins the Emre duel, I believe. A good anti onto Jay and Big Warrior is not enough. Another kill goes in the favor of UNH, and they start to push this payload. Big Warrior hunting down the Ana. He wants another one. So UNH wants to quickly try to claim the height advantage here. You see Knight going up with Big Warrior. Going to land a quick little scope shot, or quick scope on the Ana there. Knight maybe trying to, get a little bit of support diff going, but there's an anti-straight to Knight's chin. The Sombra tries to hack out Knight, does end up going down. Kind of caught in a bad spot by himself there. Big Warrior does come through. The rest of the team kind of grouping up in the area. Just going to wait for Knight to get back in the fight there to try to support with more heals. Looks like that Winston's trying to get aggressive. Blackout taking quite a bit of damage on critical, but what looks like is able to escape relatively unharmed. Well, not unharmed, but, with his life. Knight definitely yelling at him to peek the edge because Ana's just too short. Big Warrior gets up here, gonna go toe-to-toe with the Winston, not gonna back down. Knight lobs a grenade towards Sienna, and Big Warrior, maybe considering a dive there, pulls it back at the last second. Winston still getting aggressive. Knight takes some sort of, I think that was a grenade from Emre. Jay on critical, Knight on critical, throws a grenade at his feet to keep everybody in good health. And UNH gonna time start to tick down to 1:45 here. Still plenty of time just to get around this corner. Diva Bomb ready in their pocket. Anna Marie definitely has some also of their own. Big Warrior gets demexed in like a second. His Blackout with his ultimate starts diving towards the supports. Blows up the Emre, starts hunt Lifeweaver. He'll take him down as well. Finds a third. And that might have been the play UNH needed to cap this first checkpoint. The Winston going to try to dive into delay. Blackout just face tanking. Able to walk away due to the heals from the Wu Yang and from Knight, and UNH caps the first checkpoint. Gets 3 minutes back on their clock. Now they're going to get started towards the second checkpoint. Once again, Big Warrior immediately diving for height there, getting in the space shuttle with Blackout on his shoulder. Winston trying to do some good damage as Monclover manages to slide straight through the blast doors, avoiding the enemy Emre ult from Anna Marie. Not able to get nearly as much value as Blackout did, as Jay just gets sent straight to hell. Sleep right into, I don't know what that was, but Jay died quick. UNH is going to take the time to let everybody respawn and regroup. Knight did take a little bit of damage, but able to back away before going down. Blackout looks for the one burst, nearly finds it on the Ana, but is forced to back away. The Winston tries to force him off the angle, but Blackout definitely likes that angle. See Big Warrior trying to just get into it with the Winston there. The Wu Yang ultimate doesn't get too much value though, as Monclover goes down to the Ana. Jay picks up a kill on the Sombra. The Primal Rage comes through. That'll take down one. Big Warrior takes down the Emre. The Winston out of his ultimate now. He goes diving back to point. The Pulse Bomb smacks the bubble, I believe. The Lifeweaver is going to throw out the tree. Baby Devo to secure the kill. Drops the mech on Winston's forehead. Immediately starts to look towards the Ana, but gets hack slept and catches a grenade to the face. A good sleep on the Sombra, but Big Warrior goes down. It looks like Monclover goes down as well. Blackout getting some good damage in there, looking to take down the Winston, but ultimately forced to back out through the doorway. Definitely seeing Blackout trying to get these picks from these distances here. Definitely want to be careful of those hacks. They've been a thorn in the side, but Big Warrior decides he's done playing around. He breaks out the hazard. Blackout is all ready to go in his back pocket. Did have a huge play with that last time with that triple kill to secure first point. I expect to see something very similar here. UNH continues to take their time, not getting too aggressive. Force out the Lifeweaver to grab that M-Race. He starts to get bursted down. The Winston still on the point, just starts to get melted. Blackout not afraid to get in his face. And Nano does come out to keep him alive. But UNH doesn't seem to be too worried about the Nanos. Looks like Big Warrior is just getting in the back line. Blackout with the ult. Big Warrior does take some damage here. Forced to back up into his healers. Or his support, rather. As Blackout does pick up one with his ult there. Got some value out of it. More value than the enemy team's Almighty did with his previous ultimate. As Big Warrior starts to look in towards a Lifeweaver. Makes him waste his dash. Secures a kill on that support. And catches some good healing from the Biotic Grenade and the Wu Yang. Sombra gets sent straight back to the spawn room with that slash. As Big Warrior starts to get invested now. A good wall on the Winston, forcing him to dive onto the payload to stay alive. A good anti-land on Big Warrior, but he just kind of face tanks it as the Primal Rage comes out. A hack comes through the Blackout, or the Emre ult, sorry. I'm just so used to Blackout. Finds one. Primal Rage picks up another. Jay helps do some damage in the backline as it looks like the Anas go band for band there. Knight coming out on top. 10 seconds to go. UNH has to get towards or closer to the payload. They want to start the overtime timer to get to the second checkpoint. Lifeweaver ult comes out. Jay nearly gets hacked, but he's able to walk away. A good sleep lands on the Emre. The Biotic Grenade barely misses, but looks like the Pulse Bomb from Jay picks up one. Blackout finds another. Make it two as he takes down the Ana here. Left alone on the point is the Sombra as Winston goes down, and they both fall one after another. 1:30 on the board, and UNH bit tense here, a bit close, but they're definitely in a position to walk away with the potential win here. There is no real way to bring us to overtime. Pretty much just a win or a loss here. The win clearly outlined there. That nice yellow square on the floor is going to force Enemy to start being a little bit more aggressive than maybe they want to be. As UNH starts to creep closer and closer, Big Warrior gets aggressive. Knight lands a good critical there. He has such a good angle on the cart from here. Able to just sit back and constantly heal. Big Warrior gets the Nano or the Wu Yang ultimate just in time. Starts to hunt down the Lifeweaver, sends him flying onto the ground. He's forced to dash away. 40 seconds to go. Emre starts to get melted down by Big Warrior. That'll be the first secured kill for this team fight. The Winston low as well. He's getting both attention from Ana and Lifeweaver. He gets grappled back. The Sombra hat comes out, but she's quickly getting melted down. Blackout with the ult helps secure the kill as Big Warrior as he comes through. The bubble gets bursted down immediately. That Winston cannot survive Blackout's ult. He'll go down. Lifeweaver tries to get on the point to delay, but he'll get melted. The Pulse Bomb helps secure the kill. Blackout with the final hit, and UNH will walk away with the win on payload, bringing it to a 2-0, forcing us to go to match point the moment we get game 3 started underway. But until then, there will be a brief intermission as the teams discuss the bans, discuss lineups and strategies, and I will be here ready to shoutcast the potential final round. And we are back for match or game point rather. Going to be on I'm not gonna Esperanza. Going to be the push here. UNH looks like they want to lean a bit heavily into dive here. You see Jay and Big Warrior. Jay going to be on the Vendetta. Big Warrior on the Hazard. Always a sight to see. Clover back on the Kiriko with Knight locking in the Alari. Blackout looks like one's going back to the Emre. Bands on the bands on the board are gonna be UNH taking out the Jetpack Caddis Anna Marie. Bans out the Diva. Seems they didn't appreciate that pick much from the last round. But Big Warrior, we all know his bag of tanks is deep, nearly endless. Gonna break out the Hazard. We've seen the Sigma, what else have we seen that's been fun to watch? The Junker Queen and the Mirror matchups. Big Warrior definitely not too badly affected by the Diva ban. But we'll see how UNH comes out for their first chance at push in this match. See the very fast movement here from multiple characters. Big Warrior dashing, Jay dashing, Clover teleporting, and Blackout running. Of course, Big Warrior and Jay going to be the first ones to start getting aggressive. Anna Marie brings back out the Winston. I think I saw maybe the beginnings of a Sombra hack, but I'm not 100% sure about that. You just see like they brought their own Alari. Unless that's just Knight's bullets, I'm getting confused. As Jay just kind of sits around the corner, pushes the bot without getting directly involved in the combat. Good turret placement there from Knight, letting his team fall back for some easy heals. It does look like they're trying to push Knight. You see that Torbjorn getting set up on the height there. Using that land bridge to his favor. Big Warrior does take a little bit of damage. Does look like the other DPS for Anna Marie is in fact a soldier, and I just completely didn't understand what I was seeing earlier, but Blackout. A really good angle here to just start laying into that Torbjorn. He'll secure the kill with a beautifully tossed grenade. The Winston low as well, but he looks like he'll be able to escape. For now, Jay starts to get aggressive. Big Warrior following up quickly as Knight goes up on the bridge there to help support his team. UNH going to claim the height here as they start to push the bot underneath the bridge, getting halfway towards that forward spawn. First checkpoint of the match. Time going to be down to 8 minutes 20 seconds here. So much time still left in the clock. The Winston trying to contest the height. Looks like Jay the only one to be pushing the bot by himself there. Does take a little bit of damage, but able to just block and keep going. And it looks like we're just going to let Jay cap that first point without any issue. The Winston falls. Ult comes out from Knight. Wait for the Kiri to teleport before sending the ult down. Knight will take out Kiri. Big Warrior finds Torbjorn. Clover did take a little bit of damage there, but nobody dies except the Ana. Clover nearly goes down for a second time. Flanking support there, kind of catching UNH off guard, but able to quickly recover as Anna Marie swaps to the Domina. Maybe leaning more into the poke anti-dive here. The Torbjorn trying to get this turret set up on these off angles, but Knight scares him off with a couple of well-placed headshots. Now UNH is pushing halfway towards the win con here, getting halfway towards the final objective. And Big Warrior is ready to get aggressive. Kitsune Rush comes out. The Hazard ult's going to join that as well, locking down plenty of the enemies, trying to get enough damage. The Nano saves the Torbjorn. He's trying to get aggressive. Big Warrior just instead dives back out as the enemy Kitsune Rush flies out as here. The turret wars go in the favor of Torbjorn as Clover goes down, but Big Warrior dives back in. He'll take down one. Jay goes down to the Ana. Big Warrior dives out of danger. Looks like he'll escape relatively alive. Looks like Knight will just take the death to reset. His Blackout does have his ult ready to go. That could be a big part of this upcoming team fight. UNH hopefully getting all of the respawns they need just as they lose forward spawn here. It looks like everybody's in position to go up to the bridge here to start the next fight. The Domino Shield does come out early and looks like Blackout wants to take full advantage of that. Nearly gets melted out of the air, but a good Suzu comes through, starts doing some damage on the Domino. He'll explode him with the right click. Jay finds one. Knight goes down to our biotic grenade. The turret goes down as the sleep catches Big Warrior mid-jump, it looks like. But UNH reclaims control of the bot. And Big Warrior is happy to start getting aggressive. He dives around that corner, slashing one, securing enough room for UNH to reclaim the forward spawn. It looks like they don't want to push the bot too far. They want to use this height to their advantage for one more team fight. Trying to secure a few early picks before they try to just straight up win here. They start to let Anna Marie push the bot back. A grenade flies up towards Monclover. Big Warrior, the only one not playing on height here. He's staying up near the bot. He's ready for an all-out brawl here. Dives into the Domino, pulls out her shield. That's a big cooldown. Takes some damage from her explosion as well. The Suzu comes out to keep Domino alive, as well as the Nano. But UNH just simply pulls back. The ult from Knight flies down. That'll secure the kill on the Domino. Big Warrior does get anti. That'll slow down the push a little bit, but a quick heal from Knight will send him right back in there as Knight picks up a double. Big Warrior takes a lot of damage. The Emre trying to grenade him out there, but Jay kind of dives in to help keep him alive. He won't even die despite being very low HP. The teleport from Monclover to get Big Warrior back in the fight. Blackout using these long distances to try to just start melting down, doing some good damage to Torbjorn, forcing out Domina's shield. Getting constant value through his kit here, forcing out cooldowns, forcing people to pay attention to him rather than Big Warrior and Jay. Does look like Anna Marie makes the swap to a Moira here, but Big Warrior throws down the ult, catches a couple. Kitsune Rush comes out for UNH. They start to melt down the stamina. She throws her ult down. Big Warrior finds one. Kiriko's trade back and forth. Clover and Knight both fall, but Jay comes diving back into the fight. Big Warrior does some good damage. Jay secures a kill on the Kiriko, and it looks like Blackout goes down to a combination of the Moira Torb. Big Warrior wanted that double kill, but he won't get it, unfortunately. But Jay's just going to push the bot. Trying to delay as much as he can, blocking all the damage before going down to the Domino. The bot pushed so far forward, there's no question about the respawn. Everybody from UNH will be ready for this next team fight without hesitation as we get down to 4 minutes here. UNH with a 100 and about, 7-meter lead over Anna Marie currently. UNH going to go to the bridge on their side, or half of the map, I guess. Knight does take a little bit of damage, but he's just going to start wrapping around with Blackout. Big Warrior ready to get aggressive as UNH flips the position. They take the height on the side of Anna Marie's map, and Big Warrior just starts diving in. Then Emre low. The Moira ult comes out to try to keep everybody alive as Blackout just starts raining down hate from above. He'll help secure the kill on one as Big Warrior picks up 2 final blows, taking down the Emre and Torbjorn. That's both DPS for Anna Marie gone. The Moira forced to fade away. Kiriko and Domino both remaining on the bot here, trying to keep everybody alive, but UNH has the 5v3 advantage. But Big Warrior now takes a whole lot of damage. The ult from Knight will come out to secure the kill on the Domino. The Kiriko pretty much cut off from everybody else as Jay takes on the Moira. And Blackout able to land the final few shots to take out the Kiri here as we get down to now 2:45 on the clock. Anna Marie able to push out their side of the bot to about 40 meters, 35, I don't know why I'm rounding up. But UNH still sitting on about 120 here as they reclaim their forward spawn, and it looks like they will most likely back off of the bot rather than trying to push it too far. Blackout takes a little, or that's Knight rather. But Blackout and Monclover just going to sit up on height. The Moira trying to force them off with her orbs there. Quick Suzu finds Big Warrior, helping him get that regen back. The Moira pulls back off the flank. There's a Domino shield comes out. Jay gets active on the bot. Doesn't let Anna Marie push it much further. Big Warrior in a good flanking position. He comes diving through. That lands some damage on the Domino. Takes some cooldowns away from her as well. Monclover nearly has a Kitsune Rush ready to go. Big Warrior should have his ultimate up. Never mind. 50% on that Hazard ultimate as Jay, though, throws out the Vendetta ultimate, looking for one, finds Torbjorn, slams him into the dirt. Knight finds one, give one to Big Warrior. Give one to Blackout as well. Big Warrior finds a double kill to secure the team kill. Now UNH will quickly start pushing the bot towards their side, keeping forward spawn in their favor as we go down to 1:20. UNH so close, about 3/4 of the way to that final checkpoint. Just this last corner to round before they're on the straight and narrow to the final point. Jay here soaking up a little bit of damage from this Domino, but definitely not afraid to start getting aggressive. Kitsune rushes on both sides, fly out. Big Warrior catches the ult from the Domino, but he's able to just power through it. Throws out his ultimate. The welcome mat from the Torbjorn flies out. Knight low, Jay diving in, but it looks like Jay will suffer for that. He goes down to the welcome mat. Big Warrior low, taken down by the Domino. But Knight finds one. Blackout picks up one as well. They force out the Moira ult, I believe. And Knight does end up going down. The last to fall in the team kill that Emery manages to pull off. But UNH has a couple ultimates working in their favor here as we get down to 30 seconds. Blackout, that Emery ult has been absolutely a game changer so far from what we've seen. I believe they had the Knight had his ult up ready as well, and these two ults could work well with some really good synergy here. The burst from Emre, the burst from Knight. But in the meantime, Clover picks up one. Knight does unfortunately fall to the Torbjorn, but the Moira will fall in exchange. And Big Warrior shuts down the Torbjorn. He locks him down. Blackout takes down the Kiriko. Overtime does start as the Hamster manages to roll his way back to the bot. UNH is trying to take out this tank so they can end the match. The Hamster will explode. And that will spell the end for the game between UNH and Marie. UNH walking with a clean 3-0 victory. No need to make us all sweat today. But don't go too far. We do have another match at 8 p.m. UNH first varsity squad. Ready to go back at it in about an hour. But for now, we will be taking either a break. I assume we'll just be on intermission. And welcome back to some varsity Overwatch. Gonna be UNH versus UNC. This time, UNH should walk away with an earlier win against Anne Marie. I believe was the opposing team, but for first up, we will be going against on Oasis. Bans where I saw UNH took down Lucio. Didn't double check who UNS banned, but it will be Vendetta. Seems like a bit of a target ban towards the J Rayner. As we see the picks start to come through, Blackout on the M right. Looks like Big Warrior was on that Hazard. See the Kiriko and Juno actually. Gonna have Monclover on the junior. Looks like Jay Rayner wants to play the Torbjorn. Knight on the Alaria, of course. And there's that speed boost early to let people get towards the site first. A lot of dive, some good poke here in this UNH lineup. Knight and Blackout both able to kind of stay towards the back. Supported by that turret, of course. Jit and then Big Warrior going to be the big dive. You see the Ramatra shield get thrown up there. UNH just going to secede that height there and instead play in the off center or the centered building there. They're going to flip the position here. It looks like UNH going to stay on the point. Big Warrior trying to cap first. Blackout just doing some good damage, not really allowing the DPS to drop with the Ramatra as he just starts getting melted down. Bap Lamp comes out. That gets taken down as J Rayner goes down to the Bap. But Big Warrior picks up one. Blackout finds one with on the May. And then Big Warrior with another kill on the Juno. Blackout with another kill on the Baptiste. The Emre for UNC does take down Knight, but that is quickly rectified. UNH able to flip the point first. They'll start to get some points or some percentage on the board first. Big Warrior positioning aggressively here as UNC swaps over to the Orisa. They keep the May as well. Kind of like an anti-Big Warrior lineup coming out here. Gonna back up towards the supports, not getting too aggressive. Playing it smart, not allowing the position to flip quite yet, but Blackout does find an early pick on the May. That'll be a good 5v4 for UNH, taking down a big source of DPS as well as control with that May wall. A spear does lock down Big Warrior, but Knight just kind of sits next to him and heal beams him through it. The turret comes out as well. It does get destroyed. The Reaper trying to deal with Knight, teleports behind him. Got an ult from the Blackout there. It looks like he throws out that Emre ult pretty early, doing some good damage, forcing UNC to back away from point. Reaper getting ran down by the Big Warrior. He will take out that. Securing another early kill to keep the man advantage in the favor of UNH as they get up to 65%. Big Warrior just going to dive back as the Juno ult from UNC makes an appearance. He throws out his own ultimate to try to delay as Knight goes off the map. Blackout takes down one. Jay getting some good damage in on the Juno, forcing her to drop. The Reaper looking for support kills, nearly gets taken down by Jay's. Kitsune Rush comes out for UNH. The Orisa ult makes an appearance. J Rayner with that turret as UNH is finally backed off the point. They give up control as they get up to 86%. A lot of ultimates making appearances there, but UNH is still holding on to the power of the sun, I believe. Could be a big ult, especially if Blackout can get some couple taps here. As you see the ult flies out. The Emre ult for UNC gets canceled by Knight's ult. The Bap Lamp unable to secure the immortality around the Emre. As you see, Blackout does go down to the Reaper. Goes on the height to try to take down Knight, and Big Warrior takes him down. Now he's going to go diving in on the Juno. The poke from Knight helps secure that kill as Rayner takes down Orisa. Baptiste the last to fall for UNC, and UNH will take back control of the point, barely letting UNC get half of the percentage that they did. Now Blackout's going to position aggressively with Big Warrior to try to lock down this choke point. They don't want to let UNC walk past. They want to just lock down the point, walk with an early round one, but the Reaper TP's onto the point. J Rayner does lose his turret to the Juno as Blackout does have ult ready to go here. Could just kind of shut down the site. Throws out the grenade, gets boosted high in the air. just starts letting the rounds fly, looking for the Juno. The lamp's forced out. Reaper's trying to get him from behind. Goes for the Wraith to stay alive. Batwindow makes an appearance as Jay Rayner goes down. Blackout goes down as well. Monclover just trying to take down the Reaper here, but the Baptiste comes in to keep him alive, but does force out the Wraith form. Knight goes off the map just to get the reset. Big Warrior will just wait patiently for the rest of his team to respawn. UNH does bring it to 99%. One more flip back in their favor, and they should be able to walk away with this round one. Do have Big Warrior's ultimate ready to go. The Ariso can just golden form away from it, but the rest of her team does not have such mobility. She went for a spear off the edge. She won't get it. Puts a wall right in the Reaper's face. Hopefully trying to bait out his Shroud before see that Big Warrior ultimate make an appearance. Darissa's trying to get aggressive. She throws out her own ultimate. Takes down one with it. Catches a spear to the face, is Big Warrior, but he melts down the Orisa. Blackout helps secures that kill. He's going to force Reaper to run away. He'll get caught by the ult. The Bat burns the lamp to keep him alive as the M-Ray for the opposing team goes down, but Blackout goes down as the Reaper pops Death Blossom. That'll catch another one with Monclover. Baptiste picks up one more. Knight throws out the ultimate, looking for a clutch play here. Has the Juno. Does connect to Juno, but unfortunately unable to get back onto the point in time. UNC does manage to squeak out the round one victory. UNH definitely wanted that round. Looks like UNH wants to stick with pretty much the same lineup as we move on to round two. Going for the Symmetra TP this time. Monclover makes the swap, or stays on the Kiriko here rather. Doesn't go for the early Juno ring like last round. Last round. Some early damage on Knight there as you hear the Diva for UNC. J-Rainer meanwhile trying to take this left side of the map to get his turret set up. Some good damage from a Knight head tap there. Nearly secures the kill. Looks like UNH will just give away the first cap here. See Big Warrior starting to get aggressive. J-Rainer very low, but he'll secure that kill. Big Warrior finds a double. Tracer nearly going down to Knight. Forces out the recall. Diva gets D-Mech. Gets taken down by Knight. UNH able to quickly flip back the point in their favor just as UNC gets 15%. Jay Rayner immediately going to take advantage of the superior positioning here, throwing his turret up high on the choke angle. Torgrim turret immediately going to start putting in work here, getting that Diva mech down to at least half. Forces her to fly up and away. Big Warrior able to take some more space here. Both turrets for UNH end up going down, but in the meantime, Blackout will find one on the Tracer. Torgrim will take down the UNC Alari. Diva trying to get away will be unsuccessful. She gets D-Mech and taken down. Maybe. Now, baby. Oh, now. Baby Diva goes down to Knight. Tracer forced to recall as she gets bursted down by Blackout. He's just taking advantage of the angle here. He'll find another kill because why not? Gets his ult online. Big Warrior just soaking up damage, allowing the supports to nearly just farm out ult charges. Blackout finds one. Jay picks up another, but Knight does unfortunately go down for the trade. Pulse Bomb manages to take down his turret, and Big Warrior takes down the Tracer in revenge. 75% on the board for UNH. J Rayner does have that welcome mat ready to get thrown around. Actually, I have no idea what Torb's ult is called. I'm pretty sure I'm confusing it with Frost Gadget from R6, but UNH now over 90%. There goes an ultimate from the big warrior, combining it with Knight's ult as well. Monclover teleports in a sketchy situation as Blackout takes down a Reaper. Emery ult for UNC does take down 2, but Knight finds one more. Big Warrior picks up one of his own. Blackout gets ran down by the Diva. Knight takes down another. Diva trying to delay as long as you can here, but Big Warrior's just going to start diving into her face. Diva Bomb does make the appearance, tries to kill the baby Diva before she can remake, but is unable to do so. Big Warrior trying to keep Knight alive here, focuses in on the Reaper. Kitsune Rush makes the appearance from Monclover. Both sides will throw out the Kitsune Rush. The Reaper gets his head taken off by Jay Rayner. Big Warrior gets aggressive. Wow, did that Suzu not hit him? Knight finds one. Jay finds another as Big Warrior goes down. Diva gets demeked. Jay looking for some more kills. We'll find it. Blackout takes down Baby Diva, and we will be going to overtime for our first match. See what UNH cooks up for the final round of Oasis. After a pretty dominant second round win. First round it was a bit closer. UNC did walk away with it, but UNH definitely could have had that first round. Just a few small misplays that managed to add up. UNC does bring back out the Orisa and Reaper. UNH kind of playing a bit splintered here. Looks like they're going to start to rotate towards the center of the map. UNC brings up the Torbjorn for a mirror match. See how Jay Rayner handles that. Big Warrior staying on point to delay. He'll find a kill on the Reaper. Taking down that back lamp quickly. That's a very big cooldown wasted. Oh, but Jay starts to get run down by the Orisa. Suzu comes in from Monclover just a second too late, unable to heal through the damage. But Big Warrior will take down the Orisa in revenge. The Torb with the jumping headshot will get his trade, but he'll go down quickly after. Blackout goes down to the Reaper. Starts to get both supports for UNC, trying to deal with Big Warrior, but the Reaper will come in and support. Baptiste takes down Knight, and UNH gets 15% on the board before being taken down. Now they just have to wait and regroup for the respawn timers. Big Warrior starting to look for that kill on the Reaper. Does some pretty good damage. Nearly walls him off. Throws out the ultimate. Force out the Bap Lamp. Reaper will die for it anyway. Somehow that Bap Lamp was just straight up immortal. The window makes the appearance. A good Suzu from Clover keeps Big Warrior in the fight. As well as that turret from Knight tossed up on that angle there. Torb goes down to Big Warrior. Give him Baptiste as well. Orisa starts to get melted down, but she'll take Knight with her. But Jay picks up 2 more for what it's worth as UNH flips back the point, stopping UNC from getting 50%. Looks like UNC wants to go for height here, but you see Jay Rayner just throws out the ultimate to start getting some early take damage. Forces out the Juno ultimate. Death Blossom does take down Jay, unfortunately, but Knight will find one for the trade. Bap taking down Monclover is a bit worrying here. The Kitsune Rush was able to make an appearance before that, but Blackout does manage to take down the Torbjorn just as Knight goes down. Big Warrior backing out for the health pack. Blackout does have that ultimate ready to go. Could get some really big burst damage on these groups of enemies. Throws out the ultimate. Looks for the Orisa. Hits her with that big shot. Looks for another one. Continues to just melt down the tank. The Reaper on the height. Tries to find the kill. Blackout will force him to go into that Wraith form. As Jay Rayner finds a kill onto Juno. Blackout cleans up the Reaper. Looks for one through the tree. But won't find it, unfortunately. We will get down to 70% now. UNC with 63% on the board. Could turn into a very close overtime match here. But if UNH manages to win one, maybe two more team fights, this definitely looks well to go in their favor. There's the ult from Big Warrior trying to lock down as many people as possible. The Torb going for UNC now will throw out his ultimate. It'll take down Knight. Reaper finds one on Blackout, but he'll get traded out by Monclover. Big Warrior just tanks those Torbjorn shots to face and will unfortunately go down for it. Juno cleans up one, and Jay falls to the Torbjorn to wrap up that team fight. UNH are able to push it to 99%, getting a start on the overtime timer. Jay takes a lot of damage here, throws out his ultimate, a good Suzu from Clover. Keeps him in the fight as Big Warrior picks up one. UNH flips back control of the point, forces the Orisa to go spinning back onto the control here as the ult from Knight will pick up both supports. Big Warrior just tanks the Orisa ultimate. Jay doesn't end up going down, but Big Warrior finds one. Blackout picks up another, and UNH walks away with game one, going in their favor. A quick 1-0 lead, and we will see if they can continue this dominance in game two after a brief intermission. We're going to be back for game 2 of this Varsity Overwatch series. UNH with the 1-0 lead. Going to be a flashpoint on Atlas. Looks like UNH wants to swap up the lineup here a little bit. Bans on the board. UNH taking out the Venture with UNC. Immediately taking out the big warrior pick of Hazard. The new lineup for UNH gonna have Jay, Rayner, and Blackout on the DPS, Vendetta and Sojourn respectfully. Big Warrior gonna be on the Zyra or Zarya. Oopsie, that's a league champion. Monclover on the Kiriko with Knight on the Lucio. Pretty standard lineup from what we've seen from this this varsity squad for these flashpoint maps. Big Warrior very comfortable on the Zarya. See that speed boost coming out from Knight combined with Monclover Juno speed boost. Do see that UNC brings out their own Vendetta as well as a Mei. Those walls almost causing a problem, but a lot of a mirror matchup here. Blackout doing some pretty good damage with that Sojourn E. Knight able to keep everybody topped up here with Monclover assisting. First flashpoint appearing nice and open. Big Warrior just happy to stay on point, capping it with this team. Knight just distracting, soaking up a little bit of damage out Lucio, just kind of being a menace. Oh, nice. I got a scam text. Oh, Blackout down. Knight down. Oh, no. Everybody from UNH goes down. Big Warrior taking one with him in the form of that Vendetta. UNH will lose control of the flashpoint as they get to about 40%. Everybody for UNH quickly respawning back in. Monclover did swap back to the Kiriko after using the Juno speed boost in the initial phase. See, Blackout took some early damage there. Tank for UNC, just kind of raining down those right clicks, doing a little bit of damage. Jay Rayner starting to get active with the Vendetta. That Maywall coming out early along with the Blizzard. Jay Rayner able to escape, being frozen thanks to the Suzu, but Big Warrior falls down along with Monclover. The May gets taken out by Blackout. Able to farm out his ultimate before he ultimately goes down as well. Knight joining the party. And that'll be another quick reset for UNH after a lost team fight. UNC able to press their lead up to 80%. UNH able to get back on the point in time to force it into overtime. Blackout with the overclock throws it out. Jay Rayner catches a bubble from Big Warrior to stay on the point. That's going to be a quick Lucio beat from Knight. Unfortunately, doesn't catch the Jay Rayner, but managed to keep Big Warrior in the fight. Kitsune rush from both sides. The grab from UNC makes an appearance there on Lucio beat. Going to go off now as Jay goes down. Monclover following quickly after Knight, trying to keep everybody alive on point. Big Warrior takes down the Mei, but he falls down as well. Blackout picks up the Lucio just as Knight gets traded back out, and Blackout will be the last to fall. First flashpoint going in the favor of UNC. Here that Vendetta ultimate gets thrown out there. The grab from Big Warrior catches almost everybody. Monclover finds one. Big Warrior picks up a double. Jay finds one of his own. Knight unfortunately does go down, but Big Warrior will find another to secure the team kill. UNH quickly taking control of the point. Gonna quickly push up their lead to 20% before UNC can get back towards the objective. Blackout happy to just send some bullets in through this choke point, stacking up all charge, getting overclock ready to go. The kunais though are deadly, doing some good damage, but some good healing from on Clover keeps Blackout in the fight. Jay Rayner able to go 1-for-1 with the Vendetta there. The Zarya taking him down as he finds a kill, but a good Suzu keeps Monclover alive and in the fight despite the well-placed Maywall. Their own Kiriko going to be low. The boop from Knight will take him down. Big Warrior though will unfortunately fall to the Mei. But now it's going to be no tanks on either side as Knight secures another kill. The Mei able to use her Ice Cube to stay alive. They're going to throw out the Blizzard as well. Jay picks up one as Blackout goes down to the Mei. Mei now going to fall to Monclover. Junage holds on to the flashpoint here. They get to 99-0. And UNC will not be fast enough to contest. Each side picking up 1 point. Next flashpoint will dictate who gets the advantage of pushing it to match point. UNH moving as a solid unit straight towards the next objective here. See the pings for the Mei. They know there's no Blizzard for this first team fight, but the grabs and beats should be ready by about this time. Good bubble onto Jay there, letting him get back without taking any damage. Rotates around to help out his team. Knight just kind of being a nuisance on the side. Gonna pull Jay back. We go on a bit of a flank here. Kitsune Rush for UNC makes an appearance with a really good bubble from Big Warrior. Unfortunately, Blackout still goes down. Monclover picks up one on the Kiriko, but they'll go down to the Vendetta. Zarya takes down Big Warrior. Lucio taking down Jay, and Knight the last to fall to the Mei. Unfortunately, UNH unable to walk with that first team fight victory, but they will be going on this retake with a lot of alt charges almost ready. Monclover with that Kitsune Rush ready to go. I believe they have also that Lucio beat. Both support ults could be a big momentum shift in this upcoming fight. UNC is able to delay long enough to get up to 35% before UNH can really start to contest. A good Kitsune Rush gets thrown out, but a Maywall cuts that off. A grab will cut down the push almost immediately. The Lucio beat from Knight, unable to go through the wall to save everybody. And everybody will quickly fall down. Blackout just going to try to escape. Gets back to the spawn room. Good bubble from Big Warrior. Stops Blackout from getting staggered. And now with the advantage here, they're going to throw out the grab. Catching a lot. They pick up the Zarya. The Mei trying to escape, but she doesn't have any cooldown. She just has to throw out the Blizzard. But now UNH is completely flanked and cut UNC off from the point. And Jay goes diving towards the point. Blackout takes down the Vendetta. And despite the 0 to 99%, UNH is able to cap the point back. First time they managed to take this third point as they start to get their own percentage up now. Quickly getting in position here for the long fight that's sure to follow. Not sure which ultimates are up quite yet. I believe Jay's should be up. Blackout does have overcharge. Or overclock. Yeah, Jay Rayner almost with alt ready to go. No Lucio beat. No Kitsune Rush. But Knight is quickly getting his alt charge built up there. Lucio beat could be a huge part of this point here. Whichever team gets it first. Able to save their team first. There's the Maywall. Vendetta ultimate as well. Lucio beat from UNC. Nobody's goes down. But Jay will be the first to fall. Point goes back to UNC. And they manage to keep UNH off of it long enough to cap. Blackout does go down in the trade for Vendetta. Big Warrior able to secure that. Another Blizzard makes the appearance with an Ice Cube. And the rest of UNH will go down to get the reset. It will be a match point in the favor of UNC. UNH has to win the next 2 rounds if they'd like to push their lead to 2-0. Like UNC is quickly going to take the height advantage here as Jay Rayner throws out a couple of slashes. Just kind of waiting for somebody to drop down to him, and he does spot one. Comes flying in to take down the enemy Vendetta. The Maywall will try to cut off Jay's sight onto point. May gets melted down with the Kitsune Rush, but throws out a Blizzard to keep herself alive. Lucio beat from Knight also making the appearance. Big Warrior picks up one. Jay finds May. Big Warrior taking down Kiriko for his double. And the last blow going to be Blackout taking out the Zarya, I believe. UNC did manage to flip the point back first, but UNH has quickly regained control. Already taking the lead. Either side fully committing in this team fight quite yet, but there's a grab from Big Warrior, pretty much negating that Lucia beat entirely, but unfortunately it will not go in the favor of UNH. Jay is the first to fall. Monclover and Big Warrior will quickly join after Knight going down, as well as Blackout just backs away. UNH was able to delay long enough to get up to 75%, but UNC is quickly going to start clawing their way back. Already halfway to UNH's percentage. UNH, after regrouping, starting to get active towards the site once again, but a Maywall into a Kitsune Rush nearly takes Big Warrior out early. Monclover takes a lot of damage as well. Big Warrior takes down a Kiriko as Monclover goes down. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Jay finds a double on the point. Starts to melt down the May. She goes down as well. That's a triple kill for Jay. He starts to take back the point, stopping UNC from getting any further than 91%. UNH now working with J Rainer ultimate. That Vendetta Slash could be a huge part of the upcoming team fight that could possibly decide the match here. 96. UNC just a little too slow to get there in time to contest. And it will now be the next flashpoint decides the game. UNH quickly starting to rotate over towards the point. They have that Lucio beat ready to go in conjunction with J Rainer's ult. Both ultimates a big part, or a potential big part of this upcoming fight. Big Warrior with the bubble starting to get active. Jay's ult will take down the enemy Vendetta. That's a good start there. That's a big source of damage out of the hands of UNC as Jay starts to flank around towards the May. He wants to take down a second DPS. Big Warrior with the 75% charge on the grab. UNC definitely looking to potentially use it. Knight ready with that beat to potentially counteract any ults that UNC might throw their way. As Big Warrior gets a solo Blizzard, but manages to take down the May. The Lucio beat is just a little short of finding him. Jay and Knight both taking a lot of damage as a result of Big Warrior going down. That'll be both supports gone for UNH, but Blackout's willing to take one with him and delay for as long as he can. It'll squeak UNH's advantage up to 44% before UNC can finally cap the flashpoint. There's a quick grab from Big Warrior, pressing Q the moment he gets it, melting through the May wall, but it looks like J Rainer went down as the grab came back in return. Lucio beat and Kitsune rushes, flying out, and it looks like UNC will be the victors of that team fight, finding a quick team kill. And Big Warrior making the swap to Ramatra pretty late in the game. See if that's what they've been needing this whole time. There's a Kitsune rush from UNC. Now they know UNH doesn't have any support ults up to try to counteract this, but the Lucio maybe a little bit too aggressive. He goes down, Blackout goes down, Knight goes down. Big Warrior trying to rotate off the fight to get to the point, but will unfortunately be taken down by the Vendetta. And the second round, or the second match rather, will go in the favor of UNC, tying us back up at 1-1. The winner of the next round will decide what match point is in favor of, but until then, stick around for a brief intermission. And we are back for game 3. Gonna be on Rialto. UNH gonna get their first chance to defend for Escort. Kiriko the ban for UNH. UNC taking out Sojourn. Blackout A-OK with that. Happy to hop on the Embrace here. Big Warrior returning to the Hazard. Knight gonna be hopping in on the Ana, something we've seen quite a few times in the past with Monclover on the Wu Yang. And Jay Rayner, of course, on the Vendetta. See what UNH has in store for a little bit of defense action. A lot of tight choke points on this map, especially around some of these corners and the bridges. See if Big Warrior can't take advantage of that with those hazard walls.
Set up here.
What's on the docket? Winning, I hope.
Round underway properly here. Blackout taking a real long angle right next to Knight here. Both of them not wanting to get too aggressive, not wanting to play too far forward, leaving it up to the Big Warrior. See Monclover also pretty deep in the background there with the Wu Yang able to send those bullets careening around corners. Big Warrior soaking up quite a lot of damage on the balcony there. Able to delay the cart quite a bit here. Happy to just walk up to the Diva, looking towards those supports as he catches a biotic grenade for some extra healing. Still a 5v5 as UNH tries to stall out the cart best they can. Big Warrior once again doing some good damage to that backline, focusing in on the Kiriko, or the, not Kiriko, the Lucio, and the Vendetta. Get down to about 2.5 minutes here. You see the Vendetta looking for a dive, but a good biotic grenade from Knight combining with Blackout's grenades will secure the kill on the Vendetta. The Bap Lamp comes out as Jay Rayner starts to get aggressive. Genji going down to Big Warrior. And the first team fight will go into the favor of UNH. That'll drag the time down to 2 minutes before UNC can start to contest the cart. Jay Rayner walking right up to the Diva. Gonna a Maywall into a, or is that a Maywall into a BAP window? Anyway, the BAP window will find two. Jay and Big Warrior both going down. The Diva comes through to take down one more. Blackout, or no, Monclover goes down as well. After one successful team fight, UNH is put on the back foot momentarily. Looks like they might have a couple alts coming online soon. UNC didn't put 3 people on the cart to push it as fast as possible. That small mistake might be what UNH needs to get back and delay this first checkpoint from being captured. The Wu Yang ult comes out. Blackout goes flying. Catches the Nano as well. Now he's just looking. What? Vendetta just spikes him into the floor. The Maywall cuts off Jay from his heels. Big Warrior catches the Wu Yang ultimate. He goes diving in towards the Lucio, but in his adventure, the cart is unfortunately going to capture the first checkpoint, giving UNC 3:15 back on the clock. Now UNH forced back towards to relax the momentum a little bit here. Both the Nano and the Ombre all getting canceled out by a single downward slash from Vendetta, because that makes sense. UNC quickly going to get that cart pushed up to the halfway point here. Getting into one of the more renowned choke points of Rialto here. See Monclover just throwing those waters around the corners, getting some good healing on to Jay Rayner. Starting to build the ult charge back up after that last play. Baptiste window gets thrown out by UNC. Jay throwing out the Vendetta ultimate. Doesn't manage to find anybody, unfortunately. Like the May Blizzard makes an appearance as well, but Embre or Blackout will find one. Big Warrior picks up one as well, but then the Vendetta picks up three. Big Warrior takes out the May. It's a 2v2 now between two tanks, one DPS, but the health advantage is in the favor of UNC. Blackout takes down one, or Big Warrior, sorry, takes down Vendetta. And with the heals from Monclover, Big Warrior able to dive back to the payload, stopping it from progressing any further. Forcing the Diva, Lucio, and Baptiste to back off momentarily as time ticks down to 1:30. Big Warrior has their ultimate ready to go. Blackout, about 80% ready with that Ombre ultimate. Big Warrior forcing out as many cooldowns from this Baptiste as he can. Soaks up some of the damage from the Diva. The Vendetta ultimate for UNC does end up finding one, taking down Jay Rayner. Forcing the rest of UNH to back off momentarily, and that would be the only... Oh, nope. Big Warrior goes diving on the point. He catches the Wu Yang ultimate to keep them alive and in the fight. Delaying long enough for Monclover to find one as Big Warrior takes down the Vendetta. The Lucio beat will come out for UNC, but it'll just get Lucio melt the more of a Big Warrior, who turns around to help peel. Getting the Diva away from his supports, running down the Baptiste, taking him down as Jay takes down the baby Diva. Monclover throws a water straight into the face of the Lucio to secure a third. UNH able to stop the payload with 0.97 meters left. Only 15 seconds to go for UNC now, and Blackout has ultimate. Assuming he can avoid the downward slash from the Vendetta, it could be a very good play for Blackout. Big Warrior did have to use his ultimate, so there won't be a whole lot of synergy going into this, but he's just going to shut down the Lucio before he can really do anything. The Bap Lamp goes out as well. That's a big cooldown. Big Warrior takes so much damage from something. Blackout finds a kill. Jay finds one more. Blackout did pick up a double. Nice, trying to keep everybody alive as he stays on point. A big sleep on the Diva. Give everybody a chance to recuperate, and UNH able to hold the point just shy of the second checkpoint. See if they can't use or keep this momentum going into their chance at attack here. I can move. Brain cannot keep up with my mouth today. But the lineup for UNH will remain largely, if not completely, the same by the look of it. Big Warrior with the hazard once again. Deep bag full of tanks, but he knows what'll work best. UNH now going to get the chance to show off what they can do on attack. Big Warrior immediately diving onto the payload, get that pushing early. Knight going on the off angle with Blackout here. Both of them wanting to get the open sight lines to the enemy's back line, as well as Knight just trying to keep a open eye on all of his teammates. Big Warrior hopping up on that balcony, soaking up some damage, going back down to the payload, constantly forcing that D.Va to rotate and shift her position. That Vendetta remaining around the corner, just consistently slashing. Big Warrior just dives around that corner, slashing her back. As you see Jay Rayner looking for a flank there, the Torbjorn could cause just some mild annoyances for UNH here. Looks like Blackout takes a little bit of damage from the D.Va, able to back up towards the health kit, but Big Warrior not as lucky. He's taking a lot of damage. He'll be uncritical and he'll go down. The defense matrix not allowing Knight to heal. As Wu Yang secures that kill on Big Warrior. That'll put UNH on the back foot temporarily. Knight and Blackout just going to go up the cliff. Monclover following the crowd. Jay Rayner going for the Vendetta diff before dying as well to try not to get staggered too badly. UNH now starting their second chance at trying to get the payload to move forward as they get regrouped here, but Blackout catches an anti to the face. The D.Va starts hunting him down, but a good heal from Blackout will keep him alive, and a beautiful sleep biotic grenade from Knight will shut down the enemy Vendetta here. This would be an advantageous 5v4 the moment Big Warrior decides he wants to wake up, but Blackout's doing some big damage to the back line. Jay does go down to the Wu Yang, but Blackout with the grenade finds one. Big Warrior takes out the Torbjorn. Monclover is getting ran down by the D.Va, but Big Warrior will trade Wu Yang for Wu Yang. Now Big Warrior ready to take some space so his team can begin to push the payload towards the first checkpoint. Knight takes a lot of damage, able to use a nade to heal up. Does have Nano ready to go. Wu Yang ultimate goes out. Will lead to the death of Knight, but he gets his Nano off onto Big Warrior in time. He'll take down the Torbjorn as Monclover goes down to D.Va. But unfortunately, even with Nano, Big Warrior goes down. Blackout goes off the ledge. Jay Rayner goes down. And now with just under a minute to go, UNH just have to push the cart a little further to secure that first checkpoint, get some more time back on the clock. See what they have in store here. They don't have Nano for this upcoming fight, but they should have the Wu Yang advantage in terms of ultimate. Not sure if Big Warrior's used his ultimate. Don't believe Blackout's thrown out the Emre ult either. Jay Rayner just take a little bit of damage there, but gets healed right back up. A good anti gets tossed through by Knight. Not sure if it hit anybody, but it's scary to make them back off. There's a Vendetta ult, it sounds like. Doesn't end up taking down Blackout. That's a bad thing to lose here. Torbjorn ult makes an appearance. Knight goes down, and it doesn't seem like UNH will be able to get back to the cart in time, unfortunately. UNC manages to take match 3, whatever, to push their lead to 2-1 over UNH, pushing it to game point. UNH has to win the next 2 rounds if they hope to walk away with the win, but for now, enjoy a brief intermission. We are back for match 4. Gonna be Esperanza. Bit of a push map here. UNH locking in a pretty standard lineup from what we've seen from them. Gonna have J-Raider on the Vendetta, Blackout on the Emre. Big Warrior once again making a return trip to Hazard. Knight on the Alari, and Monclover rounding it out with the Kiriko. Torbjorn on the band for UNH, with UNC taking away Knight's Ana. Not sure I realized how scary Knight can be with the Alari, but we'll find out. Round will be underway properly in 20 seconds. Perhaps we'll see a Symmetra teleport early or a Juno speed ring. Jay Rayner using his movement to just start bouncing out towards the robot here. 10 seconds until said robot is unlocked to start pushing. Jay Rayner taking a whole burst of damage there, able to get healed back up by Monclover. Lucio spotted out in the backline. Big Warrior once again just kind of bouncing around, looking for picks, slashing around the enemies. Well placed turret from Knight keeps the backline nice and secure. Everybody nice and healthy. Blackout just kind of attacking this. Lucio takes a lot of damage but gets saved. Knight being the one to be saved. Helps secure a kill on the Lucio, but Diva able to take out, Vendetta taking out Jay Rayner, finds another kill. This Kiriko takes out Big Warrior now. UNH is going to die to get reset. First team fight does go in the favor of UNC here. They will most likely try to grab that first checkpoint before UNH can get back. Trying to unlock that forward spawn for themselves to make future engagements easier to get in position for. But Big Warrior is not going to let them have it easily. Definitely looking for an angle to go jumping onto this point here. Forced to back away. This is Diva constantly hits him with that defense matrix. UNC does cap that first checkpoint. They will unlock the forward spawn. Big Warrior looking for the engage angle here, soaking up a lot of damage, but to have his ultimate ready to go already. A good Suzu from from Monclover keeps everybody alive. Blackout does find a pick onto the Wu Yang. That'll be a what? There's no Wu Yang we're talking about. Anyway, the Diva picks up one on Monclover. Jay Rayner going down to the Kiriko's. Blackout picks up one on the Vendetta. The Kiriko gets locked in by Big Warriors. Diva takes down Blackout. See the Big Warrior with a good flank there to take down the Lucio. Takes the pulse bomb to the chin there. Just soaks up the damage. But a really well-timed Suzu from UNC allows him to take down Knight. His Big Warrior tries to get another kill for an exchange there. Jay takes down the Tracer. Big Warrior takes down a double. Monclover going down to the Vendetta, I believe, as the Diva uses her ultimate to escape the situation, able to get a fresh mech. UNH trying to push the bot back towards the center here, hoping to stagger the Diva as well. Big Warrior will help secure that kill with Blackout as Girano takes down the Lucio.
The robot marches for us. Very well. Found our prey.
UNH now trying to push the bot out towards their own forward spawn. They did manage to get to the center to wipe out UNC's forward spawn. Now we're starting to see a lot more ults make an appearance. So Lucio beat for UNC. The ult from Blackout, which does pick up one. The Kitsune rush from Monclover also shows up. Blackout with the quick triple kill. He's looking for more. Will find a quadra. Monclover picks up one more, and Big Warrior with the cleanup to make it a team kill. That'll give UNC or UNH some breathing room to start getting this bot pushed out. Slowly chiseling away at the lead established by UNC. Jay Rayner with his ultimate will find the Vendetta, shutting her down before she can really get started. Blackout on height nearly finds Lucio as the Kitsune rush makes an appearance for UNC. Tracer forced to blink away before Blackout's able to land the final bullet. A couple of grenades getting tossed into the mix as Big Warrior takes down two. Both the Tracer and the Lucio looking to the Kiriko. Even with the teleport, she gets tracked down and shield will go down. The Vendetta, the last to fall for UNC, but Knight does end up getting staggered by the Diva. Baby Diva sent back to the spawn room by the one, the only Big Warrior. Now UNH able to claim that forward spawn. They're going to start pushing out towards the nice yellow line established to where UNC's lead originally ended. Big Warrior playing tighter on this corner. Definitely looking for a play. Looking to farm up all charge here. Tracer trying to get on an advantageous flank. Gets sent straight back to support by Big Warrior. Starting to get aggressive there. Forcing the Vendetta and the Diva to fight together. Nice ult from Knight on the Diva. Forces her to Demek. She'll get taken down as Jay Rayner takes down the enemy Vendetta. Lucio gonna go down to Blackout with Knight picking up the final pick on the Tracer. Looks like UNH will be able to take the lead off of those kills there. See what UNC has in store in terms of response. UNH stopped just 2 meters shy of taking the lead. Time ticking down to 3 minutes 20 seconds. As the Diva picks up one on Blackout, Big Warrior finds the Venture. Kiriko taking out a Kiriko. Monclover falling in the mirror match there. Tracer finishes off Big Warrior, and Jay Rayner, the last to fall, will be to the Kiriko, giving her a double kill.
Got one here. Feels like sunlight, huh?
UNC now taking back control of the bot. They get rid of forward spawn for both sides, but before claiming it for themselves. And then immediately backing off the bot. They want to stay on height. They want to play in a position where they control and can dictate where the fight leads to. Jay takes a lot of damage from the Diva. Actually manages to go down to the Tracer. The Kitsune rush from Monclover makes an appearance. Tracer just finds another on Knight. Diva taking down Monclover. Big Warrior finding the Lucio. Diva takes out Blackout. Big Warrior, for his efforts, does find a second, but ultimately falls to the Tracer with her second kill. Now, 2 minutes to go, UNC starting to stretch out their lead. Getting over 20 meters. Getting over 20 meters, nearly 30 meters advantage over UNH. Now with a minute 45 left to go, UNH just have a little bit of leg work to do if they want to remain in this match and by that extension in the game. Knight with ultimate ready to go here, lets it rip without a second thought. Starts flying high above, lands it on the Vendetta, but she gets a Suzu as the down slash yanks Knight to the ground. Blackout takes down Diva before she can get back in her mech, but her bomb will take down Jay Rayner. Now Blackout trying to get some more kills with these grenades. As Knight picks up a quick little double kill, but will eventually go back down to the Tracer as she starts blinking around. Big Warrior will slap down the Kiriko, I believe. But UNH has a lot of pushing to do, and UNC will take full advantage of their forward spawn to bring out another team fight to delay and draw out this push. Monclover very wary of this Tracer Lucio duo, trying to hang back without being too far away from his front line. 40 seconds to go. UNH contesting heavily in the middle of the map here. Big Warrior with ultimate in his pocket. The wall not allowing Diva to fly up to height. This Big Warrior just starts to soak up damage. Blackout with ultimate as well on trying to contest for the height advantage on the bridge here. Jay Rayner also with ultimate as a Lucio beat makes the appearance. Jay Rayner pops the ultimate flying high. Finds Lucio. That's a big kill. That's one support down for UNC. The heal advantage in the favor of UNH. The Kiriko going to go down for UNC as well, courtesy of Blackout. But Monclover and Knight also fall. Jay Rayner manages to pick up a quick double kill. Big Warrior there to help clean up with the last kill. They managed to take back they managed to clear out the forward spawn before UNC could take advantage of it. We are going to move into overtime here. UNH has, once again, about 30 meters, give or take, if they want to walk away with the round victory. Big Warrior throws out his ultimate, hoping to catch at least one there, but a good Suzu cleanses that. The Kitsune rush for UNC makes an appearance. Big Warrior trying to stay on the point, gets booped out of the range of the Suzu. Monclover gets taken down by the Vendetta. She pops ultimate. Won't find anything, but Jay Rayner does take down a Kiriko before going down to Diva. Knight goes down. Blackout finds a double, but will ultimately be taken down by the Diva. And unfortunately, UNH will have to go 1-1 on the day. They lose it out to UNC. They take it 3-1. However, it was always a great time to be back shoutcasting for Overwatch. I hope everybody had as a great time as I did. That will be all from me for tonight. Have a good one.